Hello, welcome back to the Roundhouse podcast with Paul Sulentrop of Wichita State University Strategic Communications. I'm back with Denning Gerig, voice of the Shockers, for more talk radio babble. We're welcoming people back to the school year, having some fun. This time our draft is the most interesting, significant, important, consequential, pick your adjective, athletes for the fans to consider as they start thinking about 26-27. Okay, Denning, let's go. We're picking 5 athletes across all sports that are on our minds as pivotal to their season. Denning, I will again give you the first pick.
Okay, this time, Paul, I'm going to start with our softball team, and I will choose pitcher Riley Neihart. In our last pod, we talked about storylines. I mentioned the offense. They've got a lot of really great hitters returning. Basically, the entire lineup is back. But I would say over the last 5 years, and maybe even beyond that, the story for Wichita State softball has never been their ability to score runs. Feels like they have always had great hitters. If they have somebody in the circle who can take this team to another level, it's like that is the separator for them. Riley Neihart was pretty good last year. She threw a lot of innings, almost 170, under a 3.5 ERA. And it feels like she's going to shoulder a lot of the workload again this year. I talked to Coach B last fall, and she mentioned how they were trying to be a little bit more balanced with their pitching, utilize relievers in a more strategic way. But at the end of the day, if you have an ace, somebody that you can turn to and know that you're going to get a good performance from them, that makes life a whole lot easier, and I think it kind of starts and ends with Riley.
Good choice. She will definitely be very important. They have a new pitching coach, and they will do some work rebuilding that pitching staff. My choice will be Dillon Battie. We've already talked about him, but I think he is a kind of a swing guy for that basketball team. If he can be what he was, and perhaps even better over the last third of that season, I think that really raises the ceiling for the Shockers. He finished last season third highest offensive rating on the team. He scored in double figures in 6 of his last 8 games. He had an offensive rating, according to Pomeroy.com, of 126 or higher in 7 of those 8 games. That means he is scoring efficiently. He's making his free throws, which was a big development last season. He's a very good rebounder. Just really had a nice end to the season. 17 points, 7 rebounds at Tulsa, 12 and 10 at Oklahoma State. A couple of really impressive dunks in the NIT. So I am picking Dillon Battie, number 1. And really, I'm kind of shocked you opened the door for me to take Dillon Battie.
I'm worried that you're going to take somebody here. I'm thinking about maybe taking them a little early just to make sure that I get them. This is tough for me.
I'm in your head already, I like it.
I know. I'm like, do I trade a future first rounder to get additional selections here? Is that an option for me? Okay. I'll go volleyball with this pick. I'm going to choose Maddie Wilson. Maddie has had to deal with injuries throughout her time at Wichita State, and basically when she has been healthy and on the court, she unlocks something for Wichita State that they have not been able to consistently find since the absence of Morgan Stout, and that is scoring out of the middle. Maddie is super crazy athletic. She has some of the best vertical jump on the team. She's very springy. She gets off the floor quickly. They've experimented with her in different spots, but ultimately the middle is her home. And it seems like, at least in the early fall, she has been healthy for the entire practice slate and is healthy going into this season. It's her final year. She's very experienced. She's worked with Jordan Heatherly, the setter. I don't see any reason why she wouldn't have a great season, and I feel like if that middle scoring is working, it unlocks the pins and kind of allows Jenna Cubbage or Olivia Cohey to function without the entire brunt of the offense on their shoulders.
And we know how much Chris Lamb loves to run the middles, so I would agree. Great choice. There were times last year Maddie Wilson would really pop with her athletic ability, and if she can do that more consistently, that's a big help for Shocker volleyball. My pick with number 2, I'm going with senior pitcher Caleb Reed over at X Stadium.
Okay.
He was an effective reliever last year, started 3 games, really ended the season on a high note in the conference tournament. through 6 2/3 innings versus Memphis, struck out 8, allowed 5 hits, and we're always looking for weekend starters. And Caleb Reed really had a nice junior season. It will be interesting to see how he is used and if he can continue to progress for the Shockers.
That outing at the conference tournament, by the way, was on 1 day of rest, which is just insane. I think that's a great choice. This is what I was worried about. I thought you might go baseball there. But thankfully, you did not take my player because my next pick is Nolan Ganter from Shocker Baseball. I think Nolan's a really interesting one. So he's a big first baseman, 6'5", more than 200 pounds, strong kid, and clearly can hit. He hit .341 last year. The power is where it's like, that's in there. He only had 4 home runs a year ago. I think he's a double-digit home run guy, and if he is, it's a whole different level of player. A first baseman who hits .340 is always good and useful, and you'll certainly take that, but generally you're looking for power out of that position. I think it's in there for Nolan, and if it does kind of come to fruition, it really elevates their offense. It was a nice player to be able to retain as well. A great story of a kid who came from Pima Community College, wasn't particularly highly touted, but came into his power there with a wood bat, and so that is what leads me to believe that there's more to be found in terms of extra base hits for Nolan.
Seems like he was a good development story for Shocker Baseball. Shocker coaches, they got perhaps more out of him than maybe they expected last summer. Had a really nice season once he took over first base mid-April, if I'm remembering correctly.
Didn't even really start at the beginning of the season. MJ Sweeney got a lot of the starts over there to begin the year. So Nolan only ended up starting 34 games, and so that alone, I mean, just taking that number from 34 to 56 or whatever, you would think the numbers are going to jump in terms of counting stats. But I imagine he's going to have a lot of confidence coming into this fall and spring, and I'm expecting big things from him.
I'm going to go back to basketball with my third pick. Jordan Friesen is a point guard, senior transfer from Chattanooga, and we heard Paul Mills all summer talk about creation, passing, getting the ball to people in good spots. That means getting the ball to Wilberg, Dillon Battie, TJ Williams, and on and on. And I think people really enjoyed watching Jordan over the summer. People enjoyed playing with him. Excellent passer, good shooter, and he's got a big job. He and Jahari Long will do a lot of running the offense for the Shockers this winter.
All right, so we're on to pick number 4. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go Xintong Wang from women's tennis, the returning American Conference Player of the Year, and I kind of wanted to cheat and pick her and Georgia Rosselli, who is her doubles partner, but I feel like I have to just pick one in order to be fair here. But Georgia is also back. Those two were outstanding in doubles. I think they got up to 9, ranked as high as number 9, I want to say. Xintong was in the top 100 singles, and those two formed a really effective tandem. Again, a great season for Jacob Edens in his first year. I think that was just on the outside looking in for me in terms of storylines, was how does he build off of a great first season. And a player like Xintong is a great place to start, can really do everything on the court, and is a great foundational piece for that program.
That was also would have been high on my list for storylines. They're rebuilding in a lot of ways. They lost several seniors that got them an at-large bid last year, but they have 2 really high-level returners in Xintong and Georgia Rosselli. So it'll be interesting. I know they've got 4 freshmen coming in. Really strong year last year, and it'll be interesting to see how that all comes together. Okay, I am now picking 4th, and I am going to go women's basketball. The player I've heard the most about over the summer, transfer from Missouri, Mariah Vincent, 6 foot tall, redshirted as a freshman at Mizzou. Terry Nooner told me she was recruited really heavily by Wichita State, and they thought they had a good chance at her. She chose Mizzou, did not play her first year, played some last year, and is now at Wichita State. And coaches really think she had a good summer, kind of a do-it-all player, can play a lot of different positions, equally effective offensively and defensively. And when you've got 12 newcomers on your team, you're looking for people to step up. And based on the summer, Mariah Vincent really did a good job.
Wow, I was feeling so great about my draft. I had one spot left. I had Mariah circled. I was like, this is a lock. I'm home free here. And now I'm back to the drawing board a little bit. I will use my last selection on a newcomer for Shocker Baseball, and I'm going to call out Nebraska transfer Max Butenbach. He had 2 seasons ago a really great year for a very good Nebraska team, had an OPS over 900. Last year took a little bit of a step back, kind of had to be in a platoon role. The strikeouts were up for him. And when I talked to Brian Green about him, the player comp that he used was Seth Stroh. He was like, he's a physical, powerful outfielder, Nebraska kid. There's going to be some swing and miss to his game, but in theory, if he is playing every day, there's no reason he can't be a double-digit homer guy. And I think he's going to play every day in right field. I'm anticipating him being the opening day starter out there. He has a lot of high-level college baseball experience, 3 years at Nebraska. Actually had his first hit at Wichita State, and it was an inside-the-park home run. But I think he is going to, with the ability to play every day, really come into his own. They are already kind of working with him on his swing and feel like the results early are very good there. So I think that's a newcomer name to watch over there at Eck.
Good choice. All right, that was number 5 for you. I've got a lot of good choices. I am going to go with a newcomer on the cross-country / track and field team, Nicholas, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Nicholas Kipchirchir. He is a transfer from Virginia Tech. Finished 4th in the 10,000 meters in the ACC meet in the spring. Last fall, finished 20th in the ACC cross-country meet, 17th in the NCAA Southeast Region meet, and he is joining what is already a pretty strong distance group. Ellie Caputo is back. We will see them in cross-country. And that will help also once we get to indoor and outdoor track. Austin Carrera, another good returner, really had a strong summer in the steeplechase. So I think he would be an interesting guy to watch, and it appears that distance group on the men's side is very strong. Okay, Denning, who do you regret not making space for?
I kind of debated between those 3 bowlers that you mentioned in our other podcast, Sada Duque Jimenez, Alicia Oden, Ashton Woods, all All-Americans. Any one of those would have been a great choice because I think any one of those could conceivably take that next step into National Player of the Year conversation. One that I guess I would say is my honorable mention this year would be Morgan Klein. She'll be a rising junior this year on the bowling team, and I think is definitely ready to kind of ascend into that All-American status. She would be, I would say, a regular in that lineup to begin the year. And so then you're talking about potentially 4 All-Americans in your 5 spots in the lineup. So if Morgan Klein does end up taking that step, I think it's a pretty good team. She would have been the next choice for me.
I was a little surprised you didn't go with Maddox Meyer. How much did you consider the
Very strongly.
pitcher?
Very strongly. If you made me choose right now, he's probably Wichita State's opening day starter. It sounds like he is the guy that they would trust the most. A strike-throwing right-hander, pitched against Wichita State at Omaha this past year. He is not going to be the high-level stuff of a 96 to 97 mile an hour fastball. He is just going to attack with strikes, and I think it makes for a fun watch. And he would be absolutely worth considering as well.
Maddox is a transfer from Omaha. He was second team All-Summit League, went 5-5 with a 4.98 ERA, and we will get him in the Brent Chemnitz Performance Lab and
you bet we will
get him shaped up. I guess I would go with Cammie Smith. We talked about her. I think that shortstop position is obviously super important. Really had a nice freshman year. It'll be interesting to see if indeed she does move to shortstop, how she does defensively. Can she continue to hit the ball? One thing I really liked about Cammie, struck out 13 times, walked 11, and I think when you do that, have that kind of plate discipline as a freshman, that's a really good sign and can be a precursor of big things to come. All right, that was our Shocker Athlete Draft. Once again, I thank you for your time. Denning, thanks for joining in.
Now we do like draft grades, right? Like, do we immediately go grade this?
I like to wait at least 5 years to see.
No, let's go do
really
draft grades right now and put it on. Yeah, go Shockers. B+ for me, C- for you.
We'll get to that. Thank you, Denning.
Thank you for listening to the Roundhouse Podcast, courtesy of Wichita State University Strategic Communications. We encourage you to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. You can find more Roundhouse content at GoShockers.com.
Rick Freeling on deck for the Blue Jays. They'll have 2 cracks to get that runner home from second with 1 out here in the bottom of the 12th. The run at second, the tying run in the ballgame. Fastball, line to center, base hit. Jim Audley charges it on the hop. They're sending him home. Here comes the throw. It is in time. He's out. He's out at the plate on a sensational throw by Jim Audley. 1 hop right on the money, and Steve Bruns is dead at home plate, and now there are 2 down.
Shocker fans, you may look at that Saturday afternoon, that one play, that might be the play to get you the championship ring. What a throw, Mike. It's the big show in Rosenblatt Stadium. He came up throwing, and he threw a strike down Main Street.